Construction unemployment drops while costs rise. The pressure mounts for a long-term highway funding bill and a major Mid-America building project underway. That and more on Construction News Tracker, brought to you by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. The industry hired another 29,000 workers in February, the highest amount in 6 years, pushing the unemployment rate down to 10.6%. The overall job market improved by 5.3%, or 321,000 new jobs last year. However, an estimated 906,000 people remain jobless in construction alone. Fueled by lower gas and diesel prices, the Consumer Price Index fell only 0.7% in February. But Engineering News and Record claims construction costs were up 2.9% for the same period. That includes both labor and materials. Rebar, wallboard, and reinforced concrete pipe led the rise, and labor costs appear to be inching upwards. The expansion of a data center at Council Bluffs, Iowa has put 2,000 construction people to work. Google owns the massive site and has invested $1.5 billion over the last 7 years, with no announced end in sight. It's just one of many in the area that separates Council Bluffs from Omaha, Nebraska, along the Missouri River. Union leaders and contractors both have put out the call for skilled construction workers to help fill the void. The Google site alone sits on 975 acres. Much of the spring economic picture will be drawn by what the U.S. Congress does regarding the present MAP 21 highway fund that expires the end of May. Currently, 284 congressmen have signed on to a bipartisan letter to House leaders urging formulation of a long-term highway bill. In the past week, ARTBA, the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, has offered a plan to raise the gas tax 15 cents a gallon for 6 years. It would be offset with a 100% federal tax rebate for middle and lower income citizens. ARTBA claims the hefty increase would generate $401 billion for infrastructure and provide a sustainable funding program for 10 years. The latest Congressional Budget Office report, which shows the Fed spent a paltry $96 billion on the nation's infrastructure in 2014, while state and local governments spent $320 billion. The CBO report claims real public spending on infrastructure for water and transportation dropped 23% in the 11-year span between 2003 and 2014. If the topic were not so serious, we could laugh over the funding mess. That's exactly what comedian John Oliver did recently on his HBO TV program. And here's an excerpt.
The administration has not put forward and does not plan to put forward a proposal to increase the gas tax.
Okay, so it seems raising the gas tax is unlikely, which is fine as long as you have another concrete way to raise that money. So, what is the White House's plan?
This administration has put forward an idea by essentially, closing a loophole that allows corporations to benefit from stashing some of their profits overseas.
Okay. Raise funds by closing corporate loopholes. I think we all know that is guaranteed to work. The only obstacle would be, and I know that this is highly unlikely, if there were another corporate loophole somewhere else in the tax code. Oh, and there is one other obstacle. When the president floated this plan by John Boehner a year ago, he swatted it aside, perhaps because Boehner favours his own plan, which he's been talking up for the past 2 years.
I'm committed to working to find a funding source so that we can begin to repair America's aging infrastructure. The hunt has been underway for the last year and a half to find that funding source. I wish I could report to you we found it, but we haven't. We've got to find a way to deal with America's crumbling infrastructure, and we need to do it in a long-term program that is in fact funded.
2 years and nothing. That That's an oddly laid-back way to tackle a potentially catastrophic problem. Because if a giant lizard were attacking our roads and bridges, you wouldn't spend 2 years saying, yes, I am committed to preventing marauding lizards destroying our city, but we need to do it in a long-term programme that is, in fact, funded.
Last Night with John Oliver airs Sundays on HBO, and you can view this segment at youtube.com. Finally, if you don't climb the mountain, you can't view the plains. This is Construction News Tracker, looking over the industry that makes the world a better place. Brought to you by Caterpillar and produced by 4constructionpros.com. Visit us on social network sites such as Facebook at /4constructionpros or Twitter using hashtag Construction News, and leave comments or share us with friends, as the streaming web never ends.